Achana.
S for Sonia. And as you can see, we are in Madison County today at Pinson Mounds.
That's it. I'm excited to speak with Park Ranger Irwin as she shares the story of such a sacred place that pays homage to Native Americans.
Absolutely. There's so much to learn here.
Yeah, there's a museum here, nature trails,
mounds,
and much more.
More. Yeah.
I'm excited to be here. I'm ready to go inside.
Let's go.
Y'all come on.
My name is Dedra Irwin. I'm the park ranger here at Pinson Mounds State Park. We are actually at a very special and sacred site here. This is a 2,000-year-old indigenous people site that dates back to about the Middle Woodland period, so about 2,000 to 2,500 years ago. We have a 4,500 square foot museum that is available to the public. We have several different exhibits showing and showcasing artifacts that we have found here, as well as a timeline that helps you kind of see the process of Native Americans throughout history, from prehistoric times all the way to historical times, and how their artifacts kind of progressed from a hunter-gatherer culture to a farming community. We also have exhibits that feature some of our wildlife, like the tree behind me and the coyote behind me. We have a huge cypress swamp here that a lot of people don't get to see unless they're in West Tennessee or around the Tennessee River. That houses a lot of different animals, such as swamp rabbits, which are a cool thing that a lot of people don't get to see. They're large rabbits. We have about a 200 population of deer, so we have lots of baby deers in the springtime. They're adorable. We also have lots of different squirrels. We actually have 2 species. We have red fox and gray fox. And then in the museum, you can actually come in and actually see some of those pelts and examples of those animals, and then come and see the artifacts that are associated with this site itself. Some of them that we actually excavated and have on display here. The significance of the mounds here at Pinson Mounds kind of vary depending on where you're at in the park location. Our main one is Saul's Mound. It is 72 feet tall, and it was constructed over a period of several years. It has about 8 million cubic feet of dirt inside of it, and they only filled it up with baskets about the size of our regular backpacks. So if you can imagine climbing up a mountain and dropping dirt off and creating this huge mountain pretty much, that's what they were doing on that mound. If you're on top of it, when you look out across the landscape, there are 2 main mounds that rise up over the landscape that mark summer equinox sunrises and winter equinox sunrises. Other mounds on the site that are significant are Osier Mound, which is on our western side of the park. It still has its prehistoric ramp that they would have used to go up and down it. Another feature that is very specific to Pinson Mounds only is what's called the Duck's Nest. It is a large duck's nest, if we would think of it as a duck's nest. It's about 30 feet across, and it's a small indention. If anybody's ever had a bonfire or a large fire in their backyard, that's kind of like what this was, except they used it as what we would think of as a lighthouse. So it was right beside the river right before it was colonized, and it was a kind of a marker of where you got off on your canoes, because that was their highway. They didn't have these cool roads and cars. They had rivers and canoes. So they would have used that as a beacon to be like, this is where you stop for this site to get off. Some of the other mounds here are burial mounds. We do have a few burial mounds here at the site. We have a double conical twin mound, which is 2 mounds put together side by side. That is one of our significant burial mounds, as well as number 31, which is an effigy mound. An effigy mound, or effigy in general, is something that represents something else. So like I have a logo here on my shirt that is our state park symbol. It can also be called the arrowhead, so it represents more than one thing. So that's what an effigy is meant to represent. This mound represents a bird of prey. It has wings like an eagle and a tail feather, and it also has a sacred person buried in it. Well, it might be a chieftain or someone that was highly worshipped, we don't know, but to be in something that special is really significant. One of the major things we get to do at Pinson Mounds, and something that I love to do, is share the story of this site. We do that in many different ways, but our main 2 ways we do that is through program outreach, which is just people like anybody coming in here, just like you and me, walking into a museum or the park, seeing a ranger and be like, hey, I got some questions, let me ask you. Or we have scheduled programming where you can actually come out, like we have a snake and reptile show it to. We actually get them out and let you see them. We talk about the significance of why they're here. Even if you're scared, there's always a good reason why those animals are here, even though if they're a little slimy and scary. We also have Archaeo Fest, which is our biggest event of the year. It's the third weekend in September every single year. And we have Native American dancers, musicians that come out. We have birds of prey shows, so the eagles from Reelfoot actually come down and give us a show. We have all kinds of demonstrations and hay rides, and this year is actually going to be our 40th year, so we're hoping to be bigger and better than ever. Some of the other programmings we do hikes. We have a few signature hikes every single year. So the after Thanksgiving Day hike is one we have every year. The first hike of the year, so on New Year's Day we have a hike. And then we have other events throughout the year that are smaller but just as fun. We have several archaeologists throughout the year that come and help us out here at the site. During the summertime is our busiest time with those archaeologists. We actually have a field school of student archaeologists coming out with professors and actually do field testing and even archaeological excavations that people can actually come out and see. We have a section in our museum that is kind of like a see-through floor, if you could imagine that, where we have a glass panel and you can actually see into our basement, which is the laboratory. That way when they're in there working in the lab, you can actually see them working on artifacts, cleaning them up, looking at them, testing them, and it's a really cool experience to get to see that. Lots of different activities you can actually come out and do without a ranger. It's free admission to the park every single day. You can actually come out and park a car. We have 5 miles of paved trails, so you can ride your bicycle on it, bring your skateboard, your roller blades, anything like that you're welcome to do. Then we have another 2 miles of trail that are natural paved, and there's no pavement on it, it's just natural trail. In the summertime, and especially in the first part of the spring, the nature trail is wonderful for wildflower hikes, and especially if you want to see pollinators and butterflies of that sort. That is a really good time to come out. We also have other amenities here at the park. We have 2 pavilions that you can rent and have birthday parties, reunions. And then we also have a group camp you can actually rent out and actually stay the night. It sleeps up to 32 people, and it's a really fun to have like family events. We have a lot of scout organizations that come and do that as well. No, there's no charge for the museum. The only thing we actually charge for are like crafts. So if you're using something that we're providing, but we charge a minimal fee for that. And then also our special events, so like our night hikes, or something that most of the time you don't get to do in the daytime. So one of the neat things about being a ranger is that I get paid to go have fun. One of the things I like to do with people is take them on golf cart rides and golf cart tours. It's one of the programs that we do here. So I get you on the golf cart, we run around about 6 or 8 miles in the golf cart. We get to see things that you don't normally notice, especially if you don't have somebody leading a hike. You can find us here at Pinson Mounds at 460 Osier Road in Pinson, Tennessee, just about 10 minutes south of Jackson. We're only a couple minutes north of Henderson, Tennessee. We have several places that you can stop and get out of your car and walk around and stretch your legs if you're on a trip. We're only about 25 minutes from the interstate. We have a lot of people that come down and just get out and for a break. You can also find information about us and our hours on our website at TennesseeStateParks.com, Pinson Mounds. And we also have a Facebook page where we post all of our programs.
Well, Sonia, what do you think?
I think when I grow up, I want to be Ranger Irwin.
I know, wasn't she? She was phenomenal. She was phenomenal. She had a wealth of knowledge. What's here at Pinson Mounds?
Yeah, and it makes me want to get out and walk all of this. Wasn't that nice that she took us on a golf cart?
What a sweet gesture, a personal tour.
Yes.
Well, until next time.
Until next time.
Well, I guess we'll see you later, Ranger Clark.
All right, Ranger Jarrett.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.